Everybody knows who follows this channel. I'm quite pally with a group of former New York City police detectives and officers across the pond. And it's very interesting to hear stories about what's going on in New York right now, what the city is becoming, and how they're shocked at the sheer lack of action with regard to certain activities of criminal types. And no wonder, sitting there in their retirement, which is much earned, whether there's an answer to it. Well, there's been a change, and that's come up in the British press today. Let's have a talk. How do everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Last thing on a Wednesday. Hope you're doing all right. I'm not too bad. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below. Yes, New York City. I'm on fairly good terms now with, a group of retired New York City police detectives and New York City police officers. Speaking of which, on the 22nd of December, I'm going to be appearing on Police Off the Cuff with Bill Cannon and Phil Grimaldi. Should be a laugh. I'm looking forward to it. And it's 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is about midnight in the UK, so might be a bit of a late one for us. New York has got a similar problem to the UK, really, with regard to crime and the punishment of crime as well. Partly political, partly financial, and partly trying to be kind and be nice and be progressive, none of which works. Over the last several years, there's been budget cuts. It means police can't be paid overtime to do their job and finish cases. There's been manpower cuts. Certain critical departments have lost certain critical units, i.e. street crime. So crime goes up because there's no one there to monitor it. You have a load of progressive nonsense where reasonably serious matters that would be punished by incarceration or some other kind of discipline now go unpunished. You see the pattern here. It emboldens those that dare to do wrong by us, and you end up in a situation where things slowly get out of control. The likes of Bill Cannon, Phil Grimaldi, Duty Ron, and even Joe Murray and Angela Ring come from a generation of police officer across the 70s, the 80s, and to an extent the 90s, who really cleaned up New York City. They were allowed to get on with their jobs. They were allowed to go and get out on the streets, find wrong, put it away, clear it up. And one of the things that they did to quite powerful effect was start on the little things. You break a window, throw the book at you. You steal somebody's bike, throw the book at you. And it's very important that you start at that level, because eventually when they start getting away with those little things and start becoming emboldened, start becoming a bit braver, and in some cases older, if they start breaking the law as children, they think, we could get away with a bit more here, and the problem progresses. Well, all of these generation of police officers, and we have the same here, a previous generation of police officers retire, and you get this progressive lot in who are not allowed to do their job properly because of the policies introduced by government officials over them. Their hands are tied. I've seen it in the UK where a young lad was assaulted, and it took 2 months before the assailant was interviewed, even though I identified him within 24 hours. Crazy, huh? And they wonder why we've got problems. Big problems. Well, the incoming mayor of New York City has tried to do something about it. Have a look at this. Keechant Sool, and my apologies if I mispronounce your first name, Commissioner, or Commissioner-to-be, is currently serving as Chief of Detectives somewhere else, and has been appointed to the position of Commissioner of the NYPD by the incoming Mayor of New York. They make a very big thing about the fact she's of colour and female. in the press, which is normal for the press, but I don't care about either of those things. I care that she's good at her job. She'll do what she says she will do, and she's allowed to do it. She claims that she's going to concentrate on violent crime. Okay. What about the smaller stuff that leads to the bigger stuff? And more importantly, will you be allowed the resources, the budget, and everything else to do what you say you're going to do? That's the most crucial thing. Let's see what happens in New York. And I'll be very interested to see the comments of former officers with a lifetime of experience as to what they think they're going to do. But jury's out at this end at the moment. We'll see what happens in the future. Let me know what you think about this, particularly if you're in the New York area or American yourself. Let me know what you think. Is it a non-starter? Is it a box-ticking exercise? Or are we looking at real change? Let's have a conflap about it. Anyway, I'm off. Last one of the day, as I said. I'll see you tomorrow with more. Toodaloo.